Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998. I still got a lot to work on. Now, a couple days ago, I chopped out with Blue Devils not 99, sorry, Blue Devils 2000. We also got to play along for that. And it didn't sound good, so I'm going to work on that today. We're going to try and refine it, make it sound better. All of these practice streams, I like to share what I'm practicing, how I'm practicing as somebody who's been drumming for almost 30 years. And there's over 400 practice streams with timestamps in the description so you can see what I was practicing or what I was talking about. I've got multiple different chats up on my other monitor over there. People often ask me questions because I've been drumming for so long and because I've taught every single grade, kindergarten through doctoral student. So I will often edit those replies that I give to the various questions and put them in this drumming tips playlist. There's just under 100 videos inside of here that have a variety of topics. The very first thing I talk about is the title. And then if it says "and other drumming tips" or "and other teaching tips," then that means there are more different topics in there. So just check the timestamps or the chapters. For example, this one talks about how to improve sight reading, and then I talk about some other stuff after the fact. There are well over 2,000 free exercises and drumming tips, etc. on my home tab of YouTube. Any one of them that says members first means it's coming out for free. For example, this one's coming out on Friday. But because there's like 450 some odd that are scheduled, it might take like a year and a half for something to come out. If you want early access, it's 99 cents. But again, it's all coming out for free, so you don't have to pay for it. Should you join this upcoming solo competition on August 30th? I think a competition like that is a fantastic goal to aspire to so you can improve your performing. So one of the things that you got to consider when you're trying to improve as a performer is like short, mid, and long-term goals. And if August 30th, I think would make like a really good midterm goal to be able to work on. So yeah, why not? What's the harm? Do it. Speaking of do it, Shia LaBeouf here. Shia LaBeouf is going to encourage you on Instagram to do it. Let's hide him. Go. On August 30th, do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success, while you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. Sign up for the competition. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf, thank you so much. You're encouraging people to do it, to practice. Oh, thanks for visiting. You're welcome. This is my website. You're welcome, me. Happy to help. Nice tenor pads. Yeah, the slim pad is good. I personally really like my Invader, but, you know, to each their own. All right, we're going to warm up, and then I'm going to stretch and massage. And then after I stretch and massage, I'm going to work on Blue Devils 2000 shopping spree, which is right here inside of the chop exercises. Right now, there are 62 chop exercises on my home tab of YouTube, or if you go to jaredoleary.com/drum, which is linked here, then that takes you to this page where it's organized neater than on YouTube. For example, there's over 1,000 grid variations on here, 419 for triplet grid variations, 577 for 16th note. The very last one has 36 wacky ones, Herta grid, tap-only grid, accent-only grid, etc. I've got a bunch of limb-independent stuff. I was practicing that yesterday, so there's permutations to work on it. There's charts that are both straight charts and swung charts. Over 55 charts in there. Well, exactly 55 to be precise. There's 476 marching bass exercises. There's several different drumline cadences. There's 386 technique exercises to work on your endurance and speed, work on your, 3s and 4 strokes, your stick control, etc. And then here's where there's over 13 hours of drumming tips, over 400 live streams, and then all of the scripted lessons for all the different videos that I've done that are like actually scripted out. Okay. How can you practice the bass pedal at home? I mean, do you have a bass pedal? If not, like you can still like practice the motion, getting the foot going like this. And what I recommend actually working on, endurance and speed exercises. Or going through and just playing these permutation stuff. So you can simulate what you do with the bass drum. If you follow this video, the how to develop limb independence on drum kit, and just use these permutations to work on your foot, then that can help out with that. So there's a couple of solutions for you, or options rather. All right, let's warm up. So I'm going to warm up with Blue Devil's 99 chopping spree, and then I'll stretch and massage, and then I'm going to slow down Blue Devil's 2000 chopping spree, and we're going to refine that today. Now, Blue Devil's 99, I do know. I've got it memorized. This one I've been playing for a long time. Blue Devil's 2000, I don't, so that's why we're going to refine it. So we'll go here. In every single one of these play-alongs, there are timestamps in the description, so you can jump to whatever BPM you want. So, for example, I'm going to start off at a nice, comfortable 120. Turn up the volume, jam, pump it up. And we're going to use this to get the blood flowing in my arms. It's muted. Cool. Let's try that again. This time without the mute. Sweet. Now let's go up by tens. So I'm just warming up. So I normally would recommend like practicing one click at a time. But in this instance, I'm just trying to get the blood flowing. So you could play any of the thousands of exercises on my home tab of YouTube to just get your blood going in your arms before you stretch your massage. No, that was bad. Let's do it again. I was like, wait, what do I play? Screwed up. Cool. 140. Again, I know this is the 99 spree. We're just warming up. And then we'll refine the 2000 spree in a minute. Cool. 150. This might be the last time. Maybe I'll try it at 160. But considering, like, just now warming up, I don't know if I can play it at 160 today. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Cool. My hands aren't really warmed up enough for it, but we're going to do it anyways. Watch me crash and burn live. And go. Okay, so for warming up, not bad, not bad. All right, let's stretch and massage. Now that we got blood flowing in the arms, so first thing you do, take your hands, hold them so that your palms are facing up with your sticks. Pull in, push through. Looks weird. I know. It stretches the side of the forearms. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. There's a video under the drumming lessons playlist on my home tab of YouTube. And inside of there, the video is titled, This Hand Routine Saved My Drumming. And it gives you a better view, better camera view of these different stretches that I'll be doing. As well as like talking about how to do like a rotary stretch if you do like traditional, or if you do Stevens grip, which uses rotary motion. Now I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearm. You could do it like this. You could do 2 fingers. You could do 2 fingers. You could do it like this. You could do it on the wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch. Ooh, that feels great. I'm going to do it on the wall today. Don't put all your weight into it. Don't tear stuff. That's bad. This is good. Tearing bad. Oh, yeah. And now we're going to stretch the top side of the forearm. So you could do it like this. You could do 2 fingers, 2 fingers. Why, hello. You could do it here. You could do it like I did yesterday on the drum kit, where you just do it on your legs. Or if you do it on the wall, the higher you go, the deeper the stretch. So here we go. Again, don't put all your weight into it. And the last stretch is for the fingers. Do you recommend practicing with a Met for your solo? It depends on what you're doing for your solo, but for like the parts that are not rubato, so the parts that do not have like changes intentionally with the tempo, then yeah. Judges will look to see like let's say you're I don't know, playing something super simple, like you're playing like a check pattern into whatever, so you're like, and it's like that, like then the judge is gonna be like, ugh. But if you just like slow it down and play, and it just keeps that click going the whole time, then yeah. But if you're doing something where it's like a paradiddle that starts slow and gets super fast or something like that, then obviously don't do that. Unless you use like the slow, fast, slow play-alongs on my home tab. Then those can help with like speeding up something. Yeah, so the judges, like everyone's going to look for something different, but hey, look at that, it finally worked. Hey, I appreciate you. So Streamlabs will like crash, and like my mixer that I can, like my physical mixer that I can see, everything's good. Like I can see the gain moving, etc. And then Streamlabs will be like, nope, we're not going to broadcast any audio. So like I'll be playing a game and I can hear every one of the game sounds, but nobody can hear anything. Anyways, so what I was saying is I'm not sure where it muted, but yeah. So if you have a passage where you're like jumping from one rudiment to another or something, and like some of them are faster than another, then the judges will listen for that, and they will not be happy with that. So if you have something where you're changing from slow to fast or fast to slow, then yeah, you don't need to worry about practicing with the metronome. There are a lot of people who will play a section of a solo where it's like fast as possible. So they'll just like try and ram through it. That is an approach that you can use, but use it sparingly. Don't just like sit there and ram out like a bajillion notes. Like try and make it like actual phrases and make it, I don't know, melodic as you can on the snare drum. So it's like actually a song as opposed to just, let me just play rudiments as fast as I possibly can and improvise it. So have some kind of a structure to it, what you're doing. So when you do practice it, yeah, I'd recommend using a metronome so that way you can find like what is a good tempo for all of the different things that I'm showcasing within this phrase. But you can have different phrases at different speeds, and that's totally cool, totally normal. But the judges will care about the consistency of your sound, the consistency of your speed of your different rudiments. So if you slow down on flam 5, but you speed up on a flam drag, they will notice that. But yeah, thank you for telling me that it's muted. I have to like keep the monitor up on my other, the audio the monitor up on my other computer monitor, so that way I can actually see if it's working. But I was like looking at my mixer's audio, and I need to just break that habit because I can see that moving, and it won't work on the stream. Yeah, so that was lacking grooviness and rhythm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's an approach. Like, some people do really good with that style of solo. Like, you can totally do that. But, you know, to each their own. Writing out some drum kit stuff on the chat. All right. Now that I stretched and massaged, now that we got the audio working again. So, on my home tab of YouTube, this is where you can find the shopping spree that I just played. So, that was warming up with Blue Devil's 1999 shopping spree. But if you go to the home tab, let me scroll down. So, at the bottom, this is where you can find over 13 hours of drumming tips, some drumming lessons, and then over 400 live streams so you can see me practice stuff. There's a few hundred technique exercises. This is where I recommend spending most of your time on here. You have to actually click to show more of it because there's so many different playlists in here to work on whatever it is that you want to work on, like stick control or endurance and speed or your timing of your rolls, whatever. So spend most of your time here, 50 to 60% of your time. Cadences, if you're on drumline, cool. If you're on marching bass, there's a few hundred exercises to help you out. If you do drum kit, spend the next significant portion of your time working on like limb independence in here. Highly recommend them. Every one of these playlists has a video in it that shows you how to develop limb independence, so check that out if you're unsure how to do that. For grid, if you do rudimental stuff, 30 to 40% of your time should be working on grid variations. Focus on rudiment on one, like a diddle on one or a flam drag on one, for both triplet and for 16th note. There's a bunch of different grid variations in here. This is another one of those where you have to click to show all of those playlists. But for where I'm going to be, I'm working on the chop exercises today, and I'm going to specifically go into the shopping sprees right here. So we just played Blue Devils 99, and now I'm going to do Blue Devils 2000. I'm going to start off at 40, and then we're going to go slowly faster. Hi, hello on the YouTube vertical. So we'll just start at the beginning because this is where it's at. Hey, I appreciate you stopping in again on Instagram. Get some sleep. Helps you to play better. When you're more rested, you can focus more. Your practice sessions will be better. So this pattern is a 3-4-5. So 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, check out the limb independence section. You can also work on a lot of the technique exercises with your feet. For example, the endurance and speed playlist or the stick control playlist. Read that wrong. I'm leaving the rim shots out. Sweet. Sorry. And what extent should you practice reading when it's not your strength? Like 20%? Sorry, I don't understand the question. Should you practice reading when it's not your strength? What do you mean by practice reading? So, like, if you can't play, like, an exercise like this, the reason why these play-alongs go super slow, like, all the way down to 40, is so that way you can, like, really work on refining those rhythms. But if you want to practice reading and whatnot, under the limb independence section, you're doing a bunch of, like, different permutations in here. So I'll just show you where it's at. So right here, these permutations can help you with reading rhythms for 8th note, triplet, 16th note, or even just working on your timing transitions. So like a quintuplet or a 5-lit into like 8th notes or something like that. There's play-alongs for that. But if you go into here, for example, with this like 16th note one, you can just go to any one of these and be like, okay, I want to work on like reading these rhythms. And then I'll just go to a random spot. It'll count off. And then you can practice reading the rhythms. Okay, so you would go through this. So this is the way that you can practice your rhythms. I don't understand what your question is. You keep asking questions about drum kit, but this is not a drum kit. I don't know if you know that, but this thing behind me is a drum kit. This right here, this is called a pad. On the pad, you can work on all kinds of stuff for your hands, but you would not play that with your feet. All right, so we're going back into the shopping spree, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go by 5s because I've already worked on this spree before, so this is more like a refresher. But if you're like brand new to learning this, just go up 1 click at a time and let it gradually speed up. But I'm going to go into the timestamps, and I'm going to select 45 beats a minute, and then it'll count off, and then we will jam. So the goal is to get this back up to like a performance speed and hopefully feel good about it with this refresher. Luis, hello. How's Instagram treating you this morning? Left hand was slightly off on the singles at the very end. Cool. Now let's go by 5s. So normally it'll just immediately tap you off, but if you select a BPM that ends with a 0 or a 5, then it'll give you a few seconds to get yourself set up. Why, hello. How you doing on the vertical? I really need to get this one memorized. I'm still having to like read through it and be like, oh yeah, that's what's coming up here. 50. Hello to you, too. All the hellos this morning. Sweet. Am I doing a what? What sticks am I using? These are the Hardeman hammers. So they are just like Hardemans. So this is a fresh pair of Hardemans with tape on them. So this is the same barrel. It's slightly shorter, that much shorter, but they are using a heavier material, so they're great for working on chops. So they're double taped, so they're extra heavy. They're about 44% heavier than a normal pair of Hardemans, and so I like to use these so I can work on my chops. Thank you for the sub on YouTube. I appreciate it. I don't know what a bon is, so I'm not sure what your question is. Sorry, I can't help. All right, 55. So by using these extra heavy Hardeman hammer sticks, when I switch to normal Hardemans, it feels effortless. So I don't have to like try to get the heights. So I left off one of the right hands right here because it like had a hiccup in the audio, and so I was like frantically like looking at my different monitors, like did the audio cut out again? And then thankfully it didn't, but unfortunately I left out a right hand. Unsub. I know. I understand. Not allowed to make mistakes on these. I should slow it all the way back down to 40 and go one click at a time. Again. Hello, Dave. How you doing? Now, one of the tricky things about doing this like slow is you need to think about like what is a legato stroke and what is like a downstroke for some of these accents. So for example, this left hand right here, so when you're playing the diddle, the next left hand is low, so this is the downstroke. But then right here, this right hand with the diddle, it's actually an upstroke because the next thing that you're playing is two right hands in a row that are high. So like knowing which one of these is upstrokes, which one of these are downstrokes, etc. Core sticks are double the price. Yeah, so these Hardeman hammers are basically practice sticks. So you would not perform with them normally. So these are actually extra heavy because of the type of material that they use, and so they're like extra expensive for that. But in general, as I drop my headphones, the sticks that I use on drum kit are significantly cheaper than like the marching ones, because like look at the difference in the size of them. So the amount of material that you use for like these Hardemans versus these Jack DeJohnette's on drum kit, huge difference in them. So the price difference is pretty apparent. Marching for like a drumline and whatnot is a rather expensive hobby. Where are we at now? We're at 65. Why, hello, Chopped Cheese. Welcome back. Can I do a solo with Chops? I can. Wait till this one gets fast. This one is quite the chop exercise, but right now we're playing it at a more leisurely pace. When we get into the hundreds, woo-wee, it works the chops. Kind of like what we warmed up with Blue Devils 99. I do, hundreds. There's over 400 sessions of me doing live streams, all on my home tab. Even earlier in the stream, I played Blue Devils 99 at 160. In a few minutes, this one will be fast. Oops. Sweet. 75. Yeah, so in just a few minutes, this will be at quite a fast speed. And I'm really going to have to focus. Since I'm still reading through this. I don't have this one memorized yet. We'll get there. Yeah, so like earlier, we were playing through like Blue Devils 99, which is different shopping spree, so. Etc. So you can check out earlier in the stream playing through that one. That one I do have memorized, not this one though. 1, 2. These are all Blue Devils warm-ups. So this one is a Blue Devils warm-up, but the one that I like warmed up with earlier, that was also Blue Devils warm-up. But there's over 2,000 like exercises in my home tab, so these are just 2 out of the thousands of exercises that are not like Blue Devils warm-ups and whatnot. So we've got some old school Vanguard ones like Flamus and Cheesy Poofs with drag cheese 5s, etc. But then we've got like VK, Velvet Knights, a 5-4 shopping spree. That one I'm going to chop out with here in a little bit. So we'll play that one at maximum tempo. But then there's a ton of technique stuff. There's over 1,000 grid variations. So this is just a small sampling of the literally thousands of exercises on there. I agree. I like Cheesy Poofs. Now, actually, I should say, so Cheesy Poofs, because Murray Gussick still sells Cheesy Poofs and Flamus, when I reached out to him to like, hey, can I make like a play-along version of this? When you see it, it doesn't show the entire music. And the reason why is because of copyright agreement with Murray. So you can hear the entire snare part, but you can't see the entire part. And that's because he still sells the music on Tap Space. Whereas like this, the Blue Devils 2000 shopping spree is like not for sale anywhere. So I want to like respect the copyright holders and whatnot and not have their music up when they still sell it. So like that's why we don't have like other exercises that are for sale. I rushed that. Whoops, went a little over. I was reading your comment. Do you know rolling and rhythm? Is that an exercise or something? I don't know that one. But I do know a ton of roll exercises. There's probably at least like 100 roll exercises on my home tab. Like if you do grid, so if you do that with like diddle on taps, which is one of the variations, you can like... and you can play that one. Etc. So that's a fun one. But yeah, rolls are fun to play. My favorite is actually to do 3 strokes. So like, I like 3s. They're fun. Anyways, cool. What speed are we at now? 85. Sweet. It's a Wilcoxon solo. Oh. I wonder if it's like 3 camps. How did that one go? I played it in All-State. My junior year, we had a percussion ensemble. And one of the things that we did was 3 camps. How did that go? Something like that. I don't know. That was 2002 when I played that. So, a long time ago. It's been a long time. I'm old. How much does a beginner drum set cost? Well, it depends on like the brand you go with, but like a few $100, you could get for like a decent drum kit. You don't need to get anything big or fancy. Like this kit right here, this is my wife's kit. My kit's actually over there, but it's not as cool looking. Mine's just like a black one. But this one, you just need like a snare, a bass, and like a tom, and then a hi-hat and maybe one cymbal, and you'll be fine. Like that's bare minimum, like what you need. You might not even need a tom, to be honest with you. Like if you just do like a snare, a hi-hat, and a bass, you could get away with a lot with just that. Add in one more cymbal just for fun. You'll be all right. So you don't have to buy anything big. You don't have to buy anything super fancy. Go for like a minimalist, like a jazz setup and whatnot. You got an old Pearl export kit. Do you think it was worth it? I mean, it's funny you say that. So, my kit is also a Pearl export series. So yeah, it'll be fine. You'll be right. I got that kit, what, in 1999 or something? So a long time ago. It lasts me a long time. Just treat it right. You'll be all right. Diddle interpreters off. Can't believe it's called Diddle from Blue Devils. Do you know that one? You mean Diddy? What was it? Something like that? I don't know. I played it a long time ago in high school, but I haven't played it since. But that was back when I played traditional grip, but I don't do that anymore. But yeah, that's a classic one. Yeah, D-I-T-T-Y. Has no affiliation with the guy who's apparently, allegedly, done some not so nice things. Just to be clear. Oh, those diddles were off. Yeah, hearing like on-field warm-ups like that with like the brass line doing their like on-field like tuning sequence, their chord sequence, it's just, I don't know, that just takes me back. Such hype, like being there live to like watch those groups, and to like play like back when I marched like the 60-second that we had, it's called the Nasty Mama Jamma, and doing that with like the brass warming up, woo, is great. Thank you for the sub. Ah! Yeah, so this, like the 2000 spree, they were still playing that old version of Diddy back then. They had like the remixed version of it, And then they started like doing other stuff. It's interesting that they like retire some of their music. So they're like, well, this has run its course. We enjoyed it, and now we're not going to play it anymore. It's an interesting philosophy. Whereas like some other groups, it's like, no, we're just going to keep playing the same thing over and over. You always felt like the early 2000s that he was the best. I agree. Maybe it's just because that's what I learned first. But when I like learned the remix version, I was like, I prefer the old one. Maybe that makes me sound old. I don't know, but there's just something about it. Like hearing them doing the space chords and whatnot with the brass in the background, it's just like chef's kiss. Even hearing like the bass cadence from Vanguard, or like hearing them play like Martian Mambo and stuff, like some of those old school Vanguard exercises, like obviously like stick control, cheesy poofs, flamus, etc. Like those are fun, but I don't know. It takes me back to a time that there's a lot of nostalgia for me. A little late on the left hand on that last part. Cut. 120. So after I get this to whatever the maximum tempo is going to be, then I'm going to play through the Velvet Knights 5/4 shopping spree, which is probably my favorite. Mm-hmm. 125. Honestly, probably 130 is going to be my breaking point for this exercise. I just still don't feel comfortable with it yet. Gotta keep working on it. My sticks are a little sticky. Beta. Late. Harkens back to the early 2005 Cabbies. Their 95 show. Was that the year they did Planets? Cause that was nice. I also really like Cadets 2000, that drum break. We played it in 2003 in Academy as our drum break, like verbatim. Yeah, Planets was a good show. I screwed up. So like mentally I was like thinking, well, what was the solo that... So I was in the Cadet 2000, that's when they played like around the back and did like for tenors and did some really cool stuff. But there were a couple of like snare solos and I was the second one. So the one that did the duet with the bass drummer. And I'm trying to remember what we played. Dang, that's so long ago. I know I have Flam 5s in it. I don't remember. 04 was the 2007 show? Or the 007 show? Nice. Yeah. Yeah, they had some really cool shows back then. But, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like lately, I've been really enjoying the lot clips. And I've just kind of like always preferred the lot over the actual full show. So like when I see like Boston, like in the lot, I'm just like... Oh yeah, like I love it. I was on the Academy back then. Yeah, so I did from 2001 to 2005, marched for Academy, and then in 2005 I got into a car accident, and so I couldn't march years 6 or 7. So I would have done 7 years with the Corps, but I hit my knee on the dashboard. Some dude ran a red light. No good. Do I know Wally? Yeah, Wally was great. Let me see if I can remember. So Wally had a twin. Wally, I believe, went and worked with like Falcons or something, if I remember correctly. Super cool dude. Anyways, all right. So let's take a trip back to memory lane. So if we go to here and we scroll down a little bit. This is from the 2004 Academy snare line, so that's me. And then half of the snare line at that time. Whoops. But yeah, good times. Now, all of these exercises that I'm using are here. So if you go to /drum, there's 62 chop exercises here. The spree that I was just playing was Blue Devils 2000 spree, but now I'm going to do the Velvet Knights 5/4 spree, so we'll do this one. Wally's one of your high school instructors? That's funny. Such a small world. Yeah, Wally was like just a super nice dude. Very chill. He was in 2003, was it? I'm trying to remember what year Wally was in the line. Yeah, he worked at the zoo with Falcons. Yeah, small world. That's so cool. I hope Wally's doing good. There's so many people that I march with that are just like good people. All right, Velvet Knights. We're just going to chop out with this one, so I'm just going to play fast for fun. Sweet. All right, let's go up by, I don't know, 10. Okay. Wish me luck. So at the end of the practice streams, after I've like spent the majority of the time like refining something, trying to improve it, then I'll just spend the last few minutes just chopping out for fun. Whoa, brain, what happened? It just like was like, nope. You ran into him at Disneyland a few years back? That's funny. Yeah. How do you know it was Wally and not his twin? It's a real question. Maybe he faked it. Whenever I would go to Disneyland, I was dating somebody who like really wanted to go to Disneyland a lot, so we went like a few times, and every single time I went, I would run into a student there. And at that time I was teaching elementary school, so I always had to like make sure that like whatever I was saying in public was like something that my principal would be okay with me saying. So yeah, it was funny. Oh, you recognize his girlfriend? Well, I mean, some people, you know, different lifestyle. We're gonna try it at 1:30. My hands might spontaneously combust. Don't worry. My wife is standing off camera with the fire extinguisher ready to go. She will put them out. This will likely be the complete fall apart, break apart point. That was rough. All right, so this exercise and literally over 2,000 more can be found on the home tab. But since I was mentioning it, let me just kind of go ahead and show it to you. So the cheesy poofs variations that are under this chop section, when you go into this, like there's several variations in here. So for these exercises and Flammus, it does not show all of the music, but you can hear all of it. So all these parts that are blank right here is just because of the copyright agreements that I have with Murray. So like it promotes Tapspace, which is Murray's website, and Murray's the person, you know, who wrote Cheesy Poofs and Flammus. But you can use this as a practice tool. So I highly recommend using this for practicing Cheesy Poofs and Flammus with any of these variations, so you can get the perfect interpretation. Go slow and, you know, practice it. Okay, if we scroll down here, we've also got over 1,000 grid variations. Just click on the header for it, and this one shows you all the different playlists for all the different grid variations. There's limb independent stuff. I'll be practicing that tomorrow. And then there's also the marching bass drum stuff. There's just under 500 exercises in here. There's several different cadences if you're interested in cadences. But where I recommend spending most of your time when practicing is on these technique exercises. There's almost 400 of them. So if you scroll in here, if you want to work on, like I was mentioning to somebody on Instagram earlier, if you want to work on like your speed and endurance, you can play this with your feet, the endurance and speed exercises. But you can also play like stick control, things like that. So you don't have to play all of these with your hands. If you want to work on your like foot coordination, etc., you can play some of these technique exercises with it. There's a few hundred of them, keep you busy for a while. If you're not sure like how to practice, what to practice, I've got well over 13 hours of tips inside of here to keep you informed, as well as some scripted lessons, and then a few hundred live streams so you can see how I'm actually like working on stuff. Like yesterday I was practicing like this really complicated weird like limb independence pattern on drum kit, which I'll work on again tomorrow. But hello from Indonesia. Somebody was asking me if I could play the song Bye Bye Bye. So I'm going to play it right now for you.